Hi everybody. I decided to hop on a little bit. Today I decided to get cleaned up. I tried to do something with my hair. It obviously needs some color badly. We're all in the same boat. My nails are off, my lashes are off, but that's okay. We don't have any control over that. But what we do have control over right now is our makeup, our skincare, and the things that we're doing with our time while we're stuck at home. So today, to make myself feel a little better since it's Friday, I thought I would do my hair and put some makeup on, and I'm sure that's going to give me a little bit of boost. So if you need that, you might want to try that. Today I want to talk about wax foundation. So that's what we have with Lime Life. And we're going to talk about why, especially if you're over 40, you should consider using a wax-based foundation. Before we get started though, I want to prep my face. It's very important that you put on what you need to prep your face before you put any makeup on. So I'm going to use my One Drop Wonder and my Sotox. I mix those together so that they're real easy to put all over my face together. This is a great way to help make sure that you get the One Drop Wonder all over your face and not just sinking in into one area and then having to use more product than necessary. So I'm going to put this all over, and then I'm going to let it have time to kind of soak in. So I usually give it a couple minutes. So while that is soaking in, I want to talk to you about the 5 reasons why you should wear wax foundation, especially if you're over 40 years old, which that was a long time ago for me. So one thing with wax foundations is it is going to get rid of blotchiness and redness. So if you have any of that going on your face, some red patches, blotchy areas, this is going to even out your skin tone. The other thing with the wax foundations is they are lightweight, so you can choose how much coverage you need and want. This is what ours look like. I kind of mix between 2 colors, and I will put on several layers if I've got some things I need to cover up. If I'm going to be home or just running errands and I don't want to look all made up, I'll go with a really light coverage. It will not clog your pores or cause breakouts. And that was one thing I was concerned about when I decided to try this product. Is I found some of my makeup would make me break out. Sometimes it would clog those pores. It was hard to get it out, keep it clean. And you're going to find with this, it sits on the surface of your skin and it doesn't go down into those pores, causing breakouts. The other thing with this makeup is it will last all day. I would notice with other product makeups I would wear, the color was perfect in the morning, but by evening, it kind of looked a little orangey or a little bit different tone than what I put it on in the morning. So it might have matched me in the morning, but later in the day, it no longer matched for me. And I was constantly putting powder over that to cover up that different color. The other thing with wax foundation is it's going to look like your own skin, because it is wax and it's sitting on that surface. It's not going to look cakey. It's going to look like skin. The best thing about this product is it's great on your budget. I know right now, most of us are trying not to spend money on things we don't need, but this is a nice money saver because it is 50% pigmented, where most foundations are 10 to 15 and sometimes less. So you don't need very much product to cover your face. It's going to last a long time. Now, I'm probably in month 2 or 3 of these 2 right here. And as you can see, I've barely made a dent in them. So if you're using just one color, typically I think it's going to last you about 6 months. So that's pretty good when you're only paying $42 for it. If you tend to get lighter or darker different times of the year, you might want to consider buying 2 colors. Buy the color you are now and then maybe one shade darker. And as you're in the sun and summer comes, you can start mixing the 2 until you transition over to that darker color. All right, so now I've let that base skincare stuff soak in. So now I'm going to prime my face with the Lime Life sunscreen. This is not only a sunscreen, but it's also a primer and a moisturizer. And I do find my makeup sits way better when I put this on. So even if I'm not going to be out in the sun a lot, I'm getting the moisturizing effect of this and the primer. All right, now we are ready to start with our foundation. I'm going to do one side of my face just so you can see how well this really covers. I am going to start with a brush. I use two things to put my wax foundation on, a brush and a sponge. If you don't want to purchase both, I would suggest the sponge. This is what gives that flawless finish. But to save time, I like to start with the brush. So I'm going to mix my light and just a dab of my dark. So I put it right on the end of my brush. These are clean brushes. Make sure you clean your brushes. I'm going to go just on one side so you can start to see how well this covers. Always run it down your neck. All right, do you already see the difference? I've got some pink and some blotchiness here, a lot of darkness under my eyes, and that is totally going away over here. Now I'm going to take my blender brush that I got wet and squeezed out all the water, and I'm going to do just one turn in my palette. And all this is going to do is even everything out and get rid of any brush strokes. Also make sure you do a really good job of pushing that in the corners of your nose, and that's where the brush comes in handy, is those little areas that it's hard to get in with the sponge. See the difference? It's crazy, isn't it? Now I am going to go in with some concealer, and again, most of the time you don't need a lot of concealer. If you've got some really bad areas that don't cover very well, for example, on breakouts, some rosacea, or in my case, I have some veins that I see in my face, so I go back and cover those up with some concealer. So I'm going to go right under my eyes because they always need a little bit there. I go kind of light there. You can also get our foundation with one foundation in the palette and two of the concealers. So if you feel like you're going to need a little bit of extra, and I have a bad sunspot right there that I'm going to cover up. And then I'm going to go right back in and just even that out. All right, before we finish, I do want to show you how to set this. So before I do the other side, I'm going to set this with some powder. Now you can use any kind of powder that you want. You can use the translucent powder right here, or you can use a colored powder. Either one is just fine. I like the colored powder at this point. I want to set my makeup, the foundation, before I put anything else on, because I don't want it to move. If I go to start putting on my eyebrow pencil and I put my hand on my face, that wax is going to move unless I take time to set it. And remember, I know we can't get together right now, but I can color match you by pictures. So if you're interested in doing that, let me know. Can you see the difference in my face? I look very tired and haggard over here and nice and smooth over here. Also remember, with our powders and foundation, it's more of a, since they're professional, you're not going to get that flashback if you're taking pictures, or if you happen to be on a conference call and you have the lighted mirror, that kind of thing. It doesn't do that. So I'm going to real quick go back in. I got to even myself out because it just looks so bad. So on the other side, run it down. And I'm going to go back in with that concealer. I've got a couple spots right here I need to cover. Go with some lighter right underneath my eyes. And I keep it down away from the bottom of my eyes. I don't want it to get cakey up in there and go into my fine lines and wrinkles. So I keep it a little distance below my bottom lash line, and then I use the sponge to push it in there. Go back over that with my sponge, even it all out. And then with my powder. And you notice I'm tapping it so I don't move that foundation. And there you have it. I'm ready to do the rest of my makeup. My skin looks even. I've got some color. I've covered up some of my blemishes, and I'm ready to go. So I hope you have a great day, and I hope you'll take time to try the wax-based foundation from Lime Life. Have a good day.